Welcome back to Factory Sealed. It is January 10th, 2016. My name's Eric Peterson. Joining me today, Mr. Daniel Curtis.
Hello.
Miss Jess Clarkson.
Hello.
And Mr. Tom Ragan.
Hello, everybody.
How's it going, Yam?
Back to Yum again.
Just going to stop you there because Jess sounded like Mr. Bean when she said hello. It was quite impressive.
Do it again.
Really? Hello. I don't know how I said it.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
But more Mr. Beanie.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. No, I can.
Hello.
Talk about a dude that has made a career out of looking stupid. For no other reason than he was just born not the best looking kid in the class.
Yeah.
But he has
He did
like
loads of
such
other
an
stuff.
expressive face. It's amazing.
There's hope for you yet, Dan.
Cheers, man.
I'm just
Feel
trying,
the love right now. Feel it. I feel it.
I'm just trying to push you along. Keep you going.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I'm not as stupid as I look, you know.
Well, you're dumber than not tell people.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing?
Says Mr. I want to build boats in the desert with wheels.
I think that's a
forget
fantastic
about that.
business play.
Exactly.
That's
Desert
a
hunting.
thing, though, isn't it?
Boats in the desert with wheels, they would be called cars.
No, but like when people do like desert surfing, something thing.
Well, yes, that's called desert surfing, not boats. With the second you put wheels on a boat, it is no longer a boat.
What about if it has a sail?
What about those like amphibian? Yeah.
Well, those are called
What if that-
amphibious machines, not boats.
Or a Gene buggy.
Amphibians.
Yeah.
I went Gene buggying in the desert. That was fun.
June bugging, like in the month of June.
No, like...
Oh, sorry, we went dune buggy.
Dune buggy. That was probably your best.
It was my duty.
That was your best American accent that you've done yet.
Thank
That
you.
was good.
I probably couldn't replicate it.
See, now that's not a boat, Dan.
It's got a sail, Eric. What more do you want?
It's a
So
schooner.
if I put a sail on my car, I've got a boat.
Yes.
So,
That is exactly how it works.
I'll allow it.
All right, well, whatever, as long as you say so.
I do. I'm the official authority on boating.
Pretty sure that's Yam.
Yes.
I'm his second in command.
You're his first mate.
I'm more of a punting man
You
myself.
are the poop deck swabber.
Is there any better name for a place than the poop deck? I mean, it's just such a good phrase.
Well, it's so practical.
Yes.
And it's just so descriptive. It's like, where do you go to poop? The poop deck.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
if you were on a ship, Eric, that would be where you would spend most of your time, I imagine.
Heck yeah. Probably from all the scurvy and the dysentery going around. For me, every deck would be the poop deck.
Don't think I ever want to go boating with you.
I want to get a
What?
boat.
That is
in
2
college.
weeks in a row we've degraded into talking about shit in the first 5 minutes.
I want to get a boat and call it the poop deck.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going on that boat.
That would be the name
yeah.
of my punting business.
A life of rickets.
The poop deck.
Deck punting.
Right next door to proper bollocks.
Oh my god, why am I still working?
I have to cross stitch that.
You don't
But
work.
you work, but you don't really do anything, so...
You're right, I don't.
Case in point, you spent the other day at work pissed on the golf course.
That's true.
Well, I was taking somebody to the airport, and naturally we had to kill some time.
I was sending him a message on WhatsApp about this week's competition. He was like, I don't care, I'm drunk.
Well, we stopped for lunch at a brewery and had a bunch of
Yeah,
drinks.
they don't really do much food there.
Oh, yeah, they did. But they did a lot more beer. I had fish
Was
and
it beer
chips,
food?
and I covered it in Heinz vinegar to make Tom
Oh.
proud. Yeah, yeah.
You got your Heinz game on.
No Americans knew what fish and chips was.
Well, we call it fish and French fries.
But would you have it? Would you have it in batter?
Yeah, deep fried.
Freedom fries.
It's called a fish fry, basically, is what it is, and they're huge in the Midwest.
Fish fry?
You beer batter the fish and eat it with French fries and baked beans.
What?
Fish
That's
and
right.
chips?
You have some weird conception about what baked beans are.
What do you mean?
No, we have the right.
No, that's
Baked
right.
beans come-
Let's not get into
And it
this.
is not baked beans.
I started that sentence and I realized what I was getting involved in, and I just can't be asked. I can't be bothered with you right now, Eric. I'll have to bring a fucking.
Tom, shots fired.
Look at this. The Bush's baked beans. Those are baked beans. The one you showed me looked like a hot pile of diarrhea.
Like Heinz beans are baked beans.
Yeah, Heinz baked beans. Come on, Google them. That's what they are.
They're the same thing.
When I sent you a picture of baked beans, you asked me if they were Mexican beans or something.
I probably did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, these look disgusting. It looks like hominy.
What do?
The Heinz baked beans.
That's like
They look like extracted pimples covered in chili sauce.
Heinz.
3 out of 4 of us are for Heinz beans, so I think you need to take it down.
But
a
are
notch.
they sweet? Oh, they're in tomato sauce?
Yeah, they're old.
What
they would
else
have
would they
introduced
be?
them.
What are the
over
bush
there, just
ones?
With
coat them in
bacon
shit.
and brown sugar.
What?
Do you guys put sugar with everything?
Why do you think we all have cavities and we're so fat? Of course we do.
Well, our baked beans have sugar in, but they're not an essential ingredient.
Brown sugar, Dan. Brown sugar.
It's healthy.
Oh,
What is
Yeah.
wrong with you people? You just like eat toenails and shit as well.
This is how we consume baked beans.
let's have a look, shall we? Eric's
Man,
put
Oh,
a link.
God, I was
beans
just
need
gonna
some
say
more
that.
brown sugar.
Oh,
How
is
did
this-
you put the bacon in these?
I mean, look at this. You guys you'll just take a glob of beans and just slap it on 2 pieces of toast and call it breakfast? It looks like
Oh my gosh,
somebody
on
took a
toast is
shit
the
in the
best.
kitchen and tried to wipe it up with bread.
No,
What the
that's
hell
not.
is that?
That's not the picture.
That is
Of
a
baked
picture of
beans on
somebody's
toast.
turd on bread, that is.
I found that under Heinz style baked beans.
No,
No,
like I can,
no.
I'll give you a better one. Do I have to teach you everything, Eric?
These all look disgusting. Look at the pot that this one comes in. It looks like a
That.
toilet.
It's baked beans on toast.
Yes. What pot?
And
Right there. Just give me a second, Jess. That still looks disgusting, Tom.
What's that
Those
hot?
aren't Heinz baked beans. That's like
What's that
chili
hot
or
pile of garbage you put in?
That's apparently Heinz style baked beans.
That's
Heinz
not
style, but that's
it.
not.
Yes,
That's
well, maybe
like a
they've been
Pinterest
added to a
fail.
chili.
That looks like chili, yeah. With Heinz
they've been
style
added.
baked beans, which is disgusting.
Oh, you can add beans to quite a lot of things.
I'm going to give you Bush's baked beans when you're here, and you will be converted.
I will bring a can of baked.
I'm sure we can just
I've
go to
got
the
weight
grocery
lamp
store
for
and
it.
it'd be filed in the back under old gross shit.
Now, see, Tom, the important question is here: how do you feel about mushy peas?
What do you mean? Oh,
I love peas.
like pea soup?
See, this
No.
is the thing. I would have had mushy peas with fish and chips instead of baked beans or whatever
Exactly.
beans the hell you
Yeah.
have. Yes.
Just that's what they're called. They're just called mushy peas.
Yeah, you get them in this tin. You can get them in a Bachelor's Mushy Chip Shop tin. They're really good.
I suppose it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Looks like wasabi. Mushy peas.
Yeah.
Here's the recipe. Take peas, mush them up.
Yep.
I didn't really think
Fair.
that needed a recipe.
It did.
God, are you guys
Yeah,
that
yeah.
bad at cooking over there?
Oh, God. You're just trying to wind me up now.
Does anybody feel like our podcast should have spin-offs where we go into other subjects?
I think
The factory sealed cooking podcast or the factory sealed grammar podcast.
no, because when it all wraps into one, like we are the all-encompassing educational video game podcast. You become more worldly just by listening to us.
Eric
was
White
Wilbur.
gets more intelligent from listening to us, mate.
Well, on our Popular Cross show, we talked about comparing cling film and kitchen foil with whatever the hell you guys call it.
Oh, I know.
Saran wrap.
What?
Yes, Saran wrap.
Yeah, thanks, Jess. I have Jess, and Jess has the vagina vote, and the vagina vote is an extra vote.
Oh yeah, how does that work then?
I don't know. I've just
Just
always
us.
been told that women have 2 votes because they have a vagina.
Oh yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like that's
Sort of like a
really
reverse
bad.
sexism.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah.
Still sexism.
So it's still sexism. Deary me. I've got a lot to teach you, Eric.
I'm going to have just a swath of food here for you.
Good, I look forward to it.
Oh, I found the durian candy.
What was the durian candy again? Can you remind me?
The candy from the durian fruit that tastes like an old diaper.
Oh,
What is
okay.
durian fruit?
We talked about this like 2
Yeah,
months
but
ago.
I don't
It's the big
remember.
death fruit that smells like
Oh,
shit.
lychee fruit.
No,
kind of.
durian.
But it looks like lychee.
Yes, well, just like a grape looks like an olive. They're not the same thing.
This isn't the testicle thing, the hairy testicle.
No. This is the bigger one. In I think it's Thailand. If you're a durian fruit seller, you need to be on your own street because they smell so bad.
Really?
God.
I opened up the bag. They're hard
God,
candies
sounds
with
so
like a.
appealing.
They're a hard candy with a gooey center, and as soon as you get to that gooey center, it's like you just took a crap in your mouth.
Okay, can I not just
I
have some
could
fruit
go
pastilles or
somewhere
something?
with that.
No. When you and Kat come, that's what's going to be on your pillow. I don't put night mints. I put durian candy.
You got any dairy milk at least, or I don't know.
Yeah, I could give you some dairy milk. My buddy came down and I put a slab of smoked salmon on his pillow.
Jeez.
Visiting the Peterson household is an adventure.
Oh.
Yeah,
Man.
I'm never coming.
Well, I'll come to you then.
Oh.
Bring your adventures over with
Yeah.
you.
I mean, my adventures are portable. I may just need to check an extra suitcase.
Oh.
But do know that I will have boxes upon boxes of Lucky Charms for you.
That is just the saving grace.
But they'll all be empty.
You will. I'll probably go
And-
missing in the middle of the night. You'll find me in Walmart in the middle of all the boxes.
It's just laying there. I'll take you to Costco
Well,
and
there's-
you'll just climb on top of the Lucky Charms pallet.
All those boxes will be filled with those Bernie mango lollies.
Yeah! Get some Benny Mango.
Frank.
Oh, man. What are we, 30 minutes into this and we haven't mentioned nary a video game?
Whoops.
We never do. Yeah, this is a video game podcast if you're listening for the first time. You still here?
It's a multicultural / video game podcast.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, I feel like we should talk about the Powerball for a minute because that's super big. It is the largest pot in history now.
Did you win?
What is that?
Well,
Is it your
I
lottery?
bought some tickets for last night just because it's fun to play. It was 900 million last night, and nobody won.
Whoa.
So for the
My
first
God.
time in history, the Powerball has crested $1 billion.
But
Oh my
how
God.
long do you have to claim your prize? Like, do they just
I
like
think you have
anyone? No,
90
done.
I think you have 90 days, and then
$1 billion.
yeah, it's 1.3 billion.
Whoa. It's like £400,000. Shit.
So couldn't someone?
That's not the
just...
right conversion.
I was mocking the value of your currency.
That's at least £4.
It's not nice to mock someone's currency, guys.
Yeah, USD versus CAD.
So sad.
$70 for a game, Jess?
I thought to myself,
Yes.
if I won, we would just do this every day, all day. We would just have 7 days a week of 9 hours of podcast and just sit and play games.
Yeah,
I don't know if
Yeah,
that
well-
would... We would kill each other, I think.
No, we wouldn't. We'd be sitting on piles of money.
You
Fair.
could probably do it locally because you could take a helicopter.
Yeah, I'd fly over every Sunday.
So there you go.
I'd pick you up
In
in
a
my
helicopter.
in my really slow helicopter.
And we'd all have a mansion in the English countryside where we could all live.
Yeah, you
Go
guys could be my
hunting.
servants. I'd hire you.
Whoa. Hang on a second.
I mean, I'd pay you a decent wage.
Yeah, I
What,
totally wouldn't
how
shit
much?
in your food all the time.
This chili tastes weird.
Are you these are beans?
Are these Heinz-style baked beans?
Yes, with added flavour.
Yom would become the Jeeves.
Yes.
Oh no.
That would be my stipulation. I would write
Can't
that
go
into the
back
contract.
from having a Jeeves to being a Jeeves.
I would make you never have to worry about money again, but you would have to change your name to Jeeves. That would be my stipulation.
I would consider that,
Yeah. You would never have to worry about money. Ever.
but it would have to be called Jeeves
And you'd have to wear a tuxedo.
all the time, every day.
Yes.
With white gloves.
And a top hat. And a
Don't make it
monocle.
worse, Jess.
And you'd have to have a cane. And
This
everything
is just
I'd
getting
say,
better.
you'd have to respond with, yes, quite.
It's starting to become less appealing.
Shoot, I tried. All right, we should probably move on to why we're here today. And that is to talk about a game. A singular game that, first of all, before we continue, let's find out how far everybody made it. I know that I finished it, and I read the short story.
Well done.
Yeah. Achiever.
I feel like I might have finished it first and read the story first.
Oh,
Just
Oh,
throwing that
shit.
out there.
wait a minute.
26.
Let's go back for a second now. I need to look at what game we did last week. Oh, I can't because our site is
didn't.
broken.
We didn't. We just wrapped
didn't,
up
we
the
did
year.
Okay, so the
Yeah.
last game that we played,
It was Beneath a Steel Sky.
and correct me if I'm wrong, but Jess finished that.
And first, again.
Are you feeling okay?
Or set 2016 is the year of
I
just
mean-
finishing games.
Do you have a fever? Do you have any
little
slight
bit.
aches or pains? Perhaps
Say,
a loose bowel.
That's it.
Okay, the loose bowel is
Oh.
causing it.
That's the key to finishing games is a loose bowel.
I'm proud of you, Jess. Two shows in a row you have rolled in. Done.
Thanks.
Done. Keep it up. Yum.
Yeah.
Did you
Why,
finish?
yes.
Hello.
Hi.
I read the short story, and I got right to the end of the game, and then a huge bug came along, and I couldn't finish the game.
Okay, we'll get to that.
I'll tell you how I got there.
Daniel,
No, I didn't finish it.
did you even start it?
Mainly because I started this morning.
Oh, good for you.
I got through 3 of the scenarios though.
Okay, so you got a decent
Oh.
understanding. Did you happen to
Yes.
take a chance to read the story?
I have not read the story.
Oh God. You're the new Jess. You're the Jess of 2016.
I had a lot of new games to play this week. I've completely forgot.
I started this
What?
Friday night. I mean, I restarted it. I started it a long time ago when Tom and I first started talking about it. But
All right, so actually, I've done one of the scenarios twice because it completely bugged out. And that's fine.
interesting. Well, we are talking about a game this week for the PC called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. This game is a PC game, came out in... Oh, shit, I had the date up.
Past.
I think it was 95.
Yes,
But
1995, developed by the Dreamers Guild. It is a point-and-click style adventure, very loosely, and when I say loosely, after having read the story, it basically shares the names, and that's about it. Loosely based on the story I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream by author Harlan Ellison, who was also a designer on the game, so at least he had some input on the game as well. The story itself, it kind of in a nutshell, is the Americans, the Russians, and the Chinese just kind of never let the Cold War die off, and it escalated into World War III. They all built these massive supercomputers, and one day, I believe it's the American one, just woke up, became sentient, and decided to end the world. But in the process, he saved 5 people and put them in kind of the belly of the earth and used them as his personal little play toys and tortured them for 110 years. And you pick up the story with these 5 people on their 109th year of being tortured. And they're trying to find a way to defeat this artificial intelligence and free themselves from the eternal torture.
yes,
That's the basic story.
that's a good summary because it's really hard to. The game is so deep that it's hard to really summarize. So I think that's
I didn't really gather a whole lot of story out of the game itself until I read the story. And I went, oh, okay, this makes sense. And
See, I thought the exact
I found the
opposite.
opposite. Yeah.
I'm with Jess. It was I kind of, as it started, I was like, so okay, these people are clearly being controlled by this computer, and then I was like, when it started playing out all the horrible places, I was like, clearly it's showing them like some kind of their own personal hell.
Correct.
So that's what it's doing.
Well, in the
that's how I
game, it
interpret it.
actually delves a little bit more into it, and that's why I liked the game a little bit more than the short story, because the short story and the game don't line up story-wise at all, other than the fact that you have the supercomputer whose name is Am controlling and torturing these people, and that's pretty much where the similarities end.
See, like, yeah, they have a little bit more like teamwork and stuff like that in the short story,
Yes.
but
yeah.
I think it really, like, the game is supposed to just go into like one of the trials that they deal with, and the ending's different, but
That was
I think it just goes.
Yeah, I like the trials that he puts them through. I mean, as much of a villain as he is, he's actually pretty ingenious with kind of the shit that he does. You can tell he's just this psychotic, demented supercomputer because he makes them go for months on end without eating, or when he does send them food, it'll be putrefied and rancid and disgusting, but he'll say, okay, there's a stockpile of canned food 1,000 miles away in these ice caverns, and you have to walk across nails and broken glass through a hurricane and a blizzard to get there. Like, fine. When we get there, he didn't give him a can opener. So all of this food, like just these sick, twisted, demented little stories. And I like how, like, that's the only one that's actually specifically outlined in the story other than the gigantic hurricane bird under the North Pole that they find. And Am says, fine, if you want to, you can kill him and eat him. But they don't have any weapons to kill this gigantic bird. So they're stuck without food again. And that's kind of how they carry that concept into the game as well. So there's 5 people, and at the beginning of the game, Am basically says, now which of you wants to play a little game? And you click on a character and boom, like Dan said, it drops them into their own version of hell. And I think each one of these is, at least as far as I was able to gather, is them sort of reliving a bit of their past or a variation of their past, like a concept of what they did.
Yeah, that's what it is. It kind of ties into what has happened to them previously and then evolves it around this horrible scenario where they have to relive it over as it goes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort
Yeah.
of.
And they're
Yeah.
either, you discover that they're either really shitty people or something really shitty has happened to them.
Yeah. There's like lots of ethical dilemmas each of one of them has to go through.
So, how did you guys go through it? Did you go straight from left to right, or did you just click randomly for people?
I went left to right.
I jumped around.
For some reason, I started with Ted on the far right.
That's where I started the first time, and then like there were some things that were being talked about that I didn't really understand, so I started over and went left to right, and I feel like the game makes the most sense going left to right. Because by the time you get to Nimdok, the Am is referencing things that have happened to other people, and by the time you get to Ted, it's all kind of wrapping together.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
did
Okay.
Ellen, then the what was I calling him? Danny, the Benny guy, and then not Darius. I made his name
Gorister.
Darius. Gorister.
Correct.
Yeah.
Good name, that.
I think we should talk about each one of these scenarios because they're all really cool. Do we just want to start
Yeah.
from left to right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, start with
Gorister was
Gorister.
first. Who
Yeah.
wants to kick that
So
one
what was
off?
his summary? What was his backstory?
Gorister, his story started out in this gigantic metallic zeppelin floating through the sky, and you discover that he's been murdered, and he's kind of coming to this consciousness of, okay, I've been murdered, but who did it? And
It doesn't actually tell you that at the start, Eric. It doesn't tell you that he's been murdered.
No.
It doesn't?
He actually, if you look in the mirror in the first room, he pulls aside his jacket and you can see he's got no heart, but it doesn't reference the fact that he's been
Okay.
murdered.
So he's coming to
Because
the
it's
conscious-
always referenced to that he's committed suicide, so that's what I thought. He shot himself in the chest. Initially.
I missed it. I figured, I guess I just assumed that by the time I got up to the top of the Zeppelin and saw his heart, I'm like, okay, somebody killed him. Because you go into the kitchen, and there's that room where he's like, there's clearly a struggle here, and I guess I started to piece that together. But I guess before we really delve into that, we should talk a little bit about the mechanics of the game. It's just a standard point and click. You have 8 different actions that you can do. You have walk, look, take, use, talk, swallow, give, or push. And everything is all pre-rendered except for your characters, and you can walk around. You can utilize different items that you pick up in your inventory, but it's not always exceptionally clear where to go or what to do. And that's the most frustrating aspect of this game, because you spend a lot of time just trying to figure out what the hell to do, what items you can pick up, where they go, where you're supposed to use them, if you're supposed to use them, because you can pick up a ton of shit that has no functional purpose at all.
But this is, again, the beneath the steel sky argument. It's a problem with all point-and-click adventures. It's not logical how you progress
No,
at
absolutely.
all. So you have to think outside the box and like kind of just click around with different things and try. I mean, at one point in Gorister's thing, for example, you have to throw a fork into an engine. I mean, what is that?
See, but I thought that the psych journal thing made it pretty clear as to what you were supposed to do at different stages.
See, I didn't even realize that until you told me about it, but I think
Because for the fork part, it said like throwing a wrench into something is like, oh, when your plans get messed up or when something else happens. So then you know that you're supposed to do something to the engines.
True, but from the time you first read that, let's say you read the psych profile when it first switches over to that phrase, there could be 100 steps you have to do to get to that point.
I didn't even know they switched over.
Yeah, they kept updating all.
And
Because you have to find the
what
fork,
makes-
then you got to figure out how to unlock that room or where to get to it, and it's not always clear. A lot of times there'll be doorways at the forefront of the screen that you don't even know you can walk through.
Yeah, that's true. And the thing that makes it harder than Beneath the Steel Sky is because you have more than 1 or 2 actions. You've got 8
Oh,
actions.
the amount of
to go
times
Yeah.
I've walked up to a door and it went just, it's a door. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
And you have to
Talk
click
to the door,
use and
do
go
something.
through it.
Yeah.
The controls are a little frustrating, yes.
Yeah.
But that's the thing too, like on the blimp, like I didn't even realize that the engine room was there for a long time.
Oh,
and I
neither
was
did I.
so mad when I found it.
That's the room I went to first, I think, actually.
Really?
The thing that I struggled with most in Gorrister's was getting his heart, because I was up on top of the Zeppelin. I'd gone through, I turned off the air ballast, I'd sliced a hole in the side of the ship, I'd gotten out there, I had the sheets all tied together, and then I would use the sheets with the mooring ring, tie it there, and then I knew that I somehow had to hold on to that rope and shimmy out to get the heart, but I couldn't figure out how to do it, because if you try to use the rope, he would just say, I don't know what to do with this.
Oh my god, those are the most ridiculous answers ever. I don't know. Really? Like, use your logic. Think outside the box a little bit, character. Like,
Well, Gorrister
Sorry, Tosh.
specifically...
Just smash it, right, Tom?
Yeah.
Exactly. Just smash it.
It's gonna be
He's like,
smashing.
what good will that do me?
oh my god.
What good is that? He's
Then
got
My
a great
favorite
voice,
bit, my
Gorrister.
favorite bit of Gorrister's thing had to be the go into the toilet stall and flush 3 times to teleport to a meat locker.
How are you supposed to know to do that?
The jackal tells you that.
He doesn't specifically say, go take a piss 3 times.
Oh, he does. He does.
He says
He
flush
does?
the toilet 3 times.
I probably wasn't paying attention then.
You probably
You
were.
just
But this
clicking
is what happened to me with Gorrister's thing, right? There's a certain section. If you don't do everything specifically right, you can't finish it.
Yeah, that's
So-
that's the same with quite a few of those characters, because I totally messed up Nimdok's scenario, and I had to
I
end
messed
it.
up Benny's as well
early.
at the end. At the end,
Yeah.
Benny. We'll get to that, but
Really?
Oh, no, see, I think
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about with Benny, and yeah. You can
But then
finish
you
all of
get
them.
to
You just miss chunks of story.
Oh,
yeah, but if you
Because if
finish
you
it
mess
and you
up
don't
too
get
much-
the right ending, then you don't get to the end. You have to do it again.
Correct.
Yeah, like
So-
if you make Gorster drink the freaking punch.
oh, I didn't do that.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
die
I
if
said
you do that.
use it like, oh, I want to hold on to this. Nope, I'm just gonna fucking drink the thing that tastes like gasoline.
So let's get back into why Gorrister is here and what happened to him. You eventually find a way to make this Zeppelin land, and you end up at a bar called Gorrister's. And you walk inside, and you really can't do much, but you walk out to the back, and you find this jackal.
Oh, there's an old man at the bar as well.
See, when I first walked in, he wasn't there.
Yeah,
No,
he shows
not
up after you
until-
go in another room,
Yeah,
Oh, he-
after
okay,
you
yeah.
meet
and then I
Glennis
promptly
and-
stabbed him with my knife.
Yeah.
Did
so,
you?
I'm not meant to do.
Did you?
so you didn't get any of the story from him?
I didn't know. He kept giving me confusing answers, and I didn't notice that you could get the whiskey from the shelf to give to him
Yeah.
to get answers. So instead, I just went, you know what? Just kill him. And then it got me a heart, and then I give the heart to the jackal, and then he swapped it for the other heart, and then I couldn't do anything else. So I was like, what's going on
a
here?
drink.
So you go to the jackal, and he tells you that you need to he speaks in riddles basically, and Gorrister gets kind of pissed off, and eventually you learn, okay, I need to go into this stall, piss 3 times, and it transports you to a meat locker. And this is where the story kind of unfolds for what's happening. He keeps talking about, oh, actually before that, did you guys listen to the jukebox at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's where you start to get an idea of what had happened.
Did you know about the jukebox, though? If you listen to all of them, it actually makes your biological barometer go down or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
If you listen
Yeah,
to the
if your
first two,
character has like a picture around them, and around them's a green kind of outline,
Uh-huh.
and if you do certain actions, it goes down. And I think if you have like it in the black towards the end, it actually affects how the ending plays out.
yeah,
oh.
yeah. So it's like
Yeah,
certain
it like
responses
plays
that
a
you give to
sound
characters
cue when
and
you do
stuff.
certain things when you're doing it wrong, or like the bad effect.
I was wondering what that picture was, because I did see it changing occasionally.
I like the one with Gorrister where he's happy and he like looks like he's gurning. It's just so fun.
So the
like
jukebox,
like a toothless crone.
the jukebox starts to unveil certain aspects of why Gorrister's here. Apparently, he was married to this woman whose mother did not like him, And she was this constant source of strife within the marriage and pretty much caused them to divorce. Am I remembering that correctly?
I think there was a truck accident.
She went I think they just said that she went crazy, and then they got a divorce, and she had to go to an insane asylum, and then he was so upset by that he tried to commit suicide a bunch of times.
Okay. So you transport to this meat locker through the urinal, and you find...
Of course.
You find Glynis and... What was
Edna.
The other? Edna hanging on these meat hooks. And Glynis is still cognizant, and she's just this huge bitch. And through...
That's Edna.
Edna, sorry. Edna is... You can essentially get her down, and she takes off and runs away back into the Zeppelin, and
No. If you don't give her the milky substance, you can instead tie her up and put her in your inventory, which is just hilarious.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Oh, I got her. I let her down, and she ran away.
So there are different ways to do it, then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because you
but she
can
basically...
shoot her as well, or you can take her
really?
apart.
Why would you waste that big gun on her?
You can take down an elephant.
And the whole bar, apparently.
But
Yeah,
every
I
time
used it
I
at the
shot
end.
that gun, it exploded everything.
Yeah.
I used it
I
at the
never
end of
used it.
Gorister's scenario to blow up the bar.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that ends his story.
So
Did it kill him?
no. So hold on. Before we get back here, basically the overarching concept of what each of these scenarios is these people coming to terms and accepting their past. That's what Am is doing to these people. He wants to show them the worst of who they are, but yet make them confront that and accept it before they move on. However, he is not expecting these people to come to terms with them. He just wants to use their past to torture them, because most people, they don't look at something terrible they did, acknowledge it, and then move on completely. They usually hang on to it or lament over it for a certain amount of time, and that's how he's torturing these people this time around. So by them going through these scenarios and you controlling them and actually doing things properly, it short circuits the system a little bit. So at the end of Gorister's, you take off back up in the Zeppelin, using Edna to power the Zeppelin, because her body gives off mechanical energy or electrical energy that transfers into mechanical energy, and then the Zeppelin can fly away. And that's where I walked out onto the top spire, shot the gun, blew it up, and Am goes, boy, I wasn't expecting that. And then he locks him back up in a cage to suffer the same fate that the people that he caused pain on suffered.
Really? No, I didn't shoot. I didn't shoot the gun after I shot it and killed myself. But
How did
Well, it
yours
didn't
end?
kill me, because we were flying away, and I walk out onto the spire, and the jackal is there, and he says, hey, now is your chance to rid your past of all of this. So you shoot the gun at the bar, and it blows up.
Did
I didn't
you
do that.
bury Edna?
Yes, I buried Edna, and that's what the jackal finally said.
Don't
there,
you
you've come
have
to
to?
terms with it.
I guess so.
that took forever to find that frickin' shovel. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't clear. I accidentally walked into the desert and died when I was trying to find it.
You can walk out
I
into
just
the
kept
desert?
You can walk out into the desert, yes, and then he dies.
Oh, dear.
He needed one of
man.
those boats.
He did.
A desert
But what
punk.
really irritated me about Gorister's story is I just was like super angry when I was playing it at how he there's just such stereotypical women characters in this, with the mom, his mother-in-law didn't actually kill him, but he hates her. The father-in-law who did kill him, he's like, I'll give you a drink. That's fine. No big deal. And his wife is the stereotypical crazy woman. If you read the book, Ellen is this huge slut, apparently. I just was
Oh yeah.
a
No,
little
you're mixing it.
disappointed.
Ellen is the character that you play in the game. You're thinking Edna.
no in the story.
Yeah, I know. In the book, Ellen is one of the characters that you actually play.
Yeah. No, and he says that Ellen is a big slut, and she wants to have sex with everyone, even though she said she was a virgin twice removed.
It's like, how can this be punishment for Ellen because she's with 4 guys and she loves it, but pretends not to, or something like that.
And then they talk about, like, they allude to them raping her. Like, it's just really, I wasn't super
you're talking
impressed.
about female characters in the whole game, not just the Chorister's story. Okay.
No.
Yeah, they are poorly represented.
This
was made in 95, 20 years ago.
But that's not an excuse.
Things have changed.
Like, in 1995, really, like, that's your view on women?
No,
that's
not my view on women, but it.
No, his. Like, in 1995, it wasn't like that was so long ago that women were second-class citizens.
The story was written in 1967.
Well, I didn't know that.
Which is still, like, I just feel like the author is a dick.
It's easy to look back on those with your 2015 mindset and say, wow, how could you think like that? But, I mean, 20 years is a long time. Things change. Things become more socially acceptable.
I feel like that's just making excuses for him. Like, the guy's a dick. I looked him up on Wikipedia, and apparently he punched a publisher because he said he didn't like his stories and assaulted someone else. Like, the guy's an asshole.
Writers are a little
it's all right. It's all right for Jeremy Clarkson to do that, isn't
Hell
it?
yeah.
No.
Exactly. So,
yeah.
Well, we should start a feminist podcast.
Well, yeah, I mean, the female characters are poorly represented in this game. Definitely.
They are, but...
Well, the male ones aren't exactly brilliant.
Yeah. Look at Benny.
And that's another thing. Benny is gay in the book, and he just decides that, like, oh, he's going to make him not gay by giving him a big dick. Like, it's a little ridiculous.
Well, okay, he outright explains that in the story, how that, like, why that was a big deal.
What do you mean?
In the short story?
I'm looking it up here. It says, because basically, if we're jumping over to the story for a second, Am basically said, I'm going to further your torture by physically altering the most important defining characteristics of you as a human and make them the opposite. So, for example, who was it that was really, like, who's the guy that had a lot of foresight and, like, really planned things out? Was that Nimdok? Or was that Gorister?
I thought it was Gorister.
Yeah, very meticulous with his thinking, and then Am just basically said, I'm just going to make him this slough that doesn't really care about anything. But yeah, the piece with Benny, he said that...
he was, like, good-looking and stuff, and...
Yeah. And he was a doctor.
He was basically big in the privates, and Ellen loved him for that, and
which was also ridiculous. Like, really,
Think about it though from the aspect of the villain. Just because he wrote that does not necessarily mean that's that author's view on that specific concept. You can't fault authors for things that they're putting in there because it's a story. If we held every author to that standard, we'd be saying, okay, a lot of these people need to be locked up. So
it was
writing
not
a villain.
Necessary.
No, it wasn't necessary, but that's how this villain functioned.
He wrote that Ellen only gets off with Benny because he has a big dick. Like, that was not pertinent to the story. And I think that I feel like this guy, what's his face? I can't remember his name. But the author just really has a hate on for women. And I feel like he took it out on Ellen within the book because, like, she was raped. That was her big trauma. And then he's like, oh, you're going to love sex now and have sex with everyone and then get raped by everyone as well. Like, it's old.
Well, again, not trying to justify it. It was written in 1967 where the viewpoints on feminism were a little different.
Dark times.
Yes, quite. Back to the game, though. Should we move? Who was next after this? Was it Ellen or was it Benny?
I think it was Benny.
Okay.
It was Ellen. Benny's in the middle.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I thought Ellen was in the middle.
Let's let Jess take Ellen.
So to bring a little complaint again, was Ellen was very much so portrayed as the sassy black woman throughout the entire campaign, which was super irritating. But with Ellen, she her big trauma that he was making her relive was that she was trapped on an elevator with a maintenance man who raped her for, I don't even think they specified, but it was a long time that he raped her. And then he was a serial rapist and went around to tons of different offices. Did he say Manhattan? All over Manhattan?
Yeah.
And just wore a yellow jumpsuit to be a maintenance worker and then would just rape women forever. Mm-hmm. And her big thing, because at first when I was playing her, I was like, oh my God, if she was just so focused on yellow, everything that was yellow was making her mention that it was yellow. Why does it have to be yellow? This is like, I hate the color yellow. She would have panic attacks throughout when she saw yellow, which I think was well done in terms to represent like the trauma that she went through was with yellow, but I didn't get that until the end. So I was like,
it was a pretty good unveiling. I think it finally wrapped it together and it made sense.
Where you have to Ellen has to confront the rapist in an elevator. And I'm not sure, like I picked to confront him. I don't know what happened if you picked the other option.
I chose to fight him. Yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
Well, because they give you, give you that the hint of, you know, you need to fight your fear.
Yeah.
Did anyone do anything other than fight him?
No, and I'm kind of nervous as to what would happen if you didn't.
I know, that's what I thought.
Ew.
I didn't understand the whole Egyptian theme that was in there. Because Ellen's whole level was...
Yeah. I think it's a mix between their personal demons and the actual state of the world.
Where it took place? Because maybe she was in a museum?
Because she says at some point that Am must have dug up all these treasures from the Valley of Kings or something.
Yeah.
And put them together in a place. So I think where they are is an actual real location. But
because Am,
it's kind of... Am controls the planet so he can do what he wants, basically.
Yeah, they are still all alive. This isn't some sort of purgatory area. This stuff is all actually being created. They're living under the world, and because there's nuclear holocaust on the surface. So that's kind of their ultimate goal, is they want to get back to the surface, but they don't know how. So yeah, Am could very well just be putting them in different scenarios, but she's got all these demons to face, like the what is it? Not the Anubis. That tiger, the yellow Egyptian tiger. Sphinx. She has to put that blindfold on to get past him, and she's
oh my
an electrical...
God, that blindfold! Could we stop there and talk about that?
Yes,
because I went to it and she said it's yellow. I'm not going to pick it up. So I was like, okay, she can't pick it up. And I found some forceps, and I was like, maybe she can pick it up with the forceps. No, she can't pick it up. Then I walked all the way around the place about 5 times. I was like, how can you pick this up? And then I tried it again. She picked it up. I was like, wait, that's just stupid.
Yeah. That was one of those, like, luck just got you. And because it said the automatron, the arm thing, had yellow fibers in it. And I was like, oh my God, like, let's put it here. Let's do something with this arm with the yellow fabric. No, you didn't use that at all. Like, it was such a red herring.
How are you meant to know, Jess? I mean, you try it once, you kind of assume it's not going to work a second time. So
yeah, exactly.
Well,
why would you do it twice?
I would go through all of the options on most things. Like, look at, then I would try to take it, then I'd try to push it.
Yeah, because that's the same with the jewel, too. Because don't you have to wear the blindfold to get the jewel?
Yes, because you can't face that guy.
Yeah. Those were just the, like, random, like, I had been clicking everything until something worked.
Mm-hmm.
I think this... I think of the ones... I liked Ellen's scenario. I think hers was my favorite in terms of the build-up to what actually happened to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, it may be poorly represented. I still think it is representative of that fear that women who have had that happen to them suffer with.
See, I really liked her scenario in the game. I didn't like her characterization in the short story. I didn't like the sassy black woman they made her be in the game, but I really liked everything else that they did. Like, I liked that she was super traumatized, and I liked that they kind of carried that throughout. She had to face her demons. She was terrified of going into the sarcophagus as well. Like, I thought that they did a really great job. And I do like that they were ahead of their times in a sense with making her a computer engineer,
Yes.
which I enjoyed.
Which helped because you had to reprogram some of those ROM chips to get the Anubis character to unlock the sarcophagus for you. And
Yeah.
again, her whole thing ties back to, okay, Am was not expecting her to confront her fear and come to terms with it and defeat it. So when she finally went into the elevator, fought her fear, came back out, reprogrammed that ROM chip, and then talked to the Anubis and said, how do I get out of here? And he said, your fear is the only way out. And she locks herself in the sarcophagus, and that's where her story ends. And it short-circuits this whole thing that Am was trying to do again of trapping these people in a never-ending eternity of fear.
You didn't get you had to make a speaker, like you had to talk to the,
Oh, yeah.
I guess it would have been
I forgot
the
about
Chinese
that.
or Russian, maybe?
I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
It was
So this-
meant to be it said there was 3 computers that
Yes.
are in Am's core. So that was one part of it, which had kind of been dominated by the main one, I think. So that one
Yeah.
was kind of his helpful side, but he's obviously suppressed that.
Well, this is where
And
the
just
actual
addictive now.
story of the game starts to come out, where there are machines or consciousnesses of machines existing within Am that want to help these people get out. And here's your first interaction with. I completely forgot about this piece, where you translate binary to English, and this computer consciousness comes out in this digital waterfall, and Ellen is like, hey, isn't Am going to be able to hear us? And he says, no, the noise of the waterfall will flush it out, but we still need to be careful. And basically he says, I want to help you guys get out of here.
And I started with Ellen, and I think that was probably the most helpful in terms of understanding the story, because it really gave a good overall description of what was happening. And at the beginning, when you had all of those monitors, you saw all of the areas that the other characters were going to go to. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
On the screen, they had the castle for Ted and the Zeppelin for Gorister and all those things.
I guess I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and that's where you saw there was a secret passageway in the first room. It was through the monitor.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. And when you were at those 3 screens, I quite liked that you could click on the year and it kind of chronologically went through major events in her life.
Yeah.
And kind of repeated them back to you in this formal way. And you really built this picture of how she had such a great upbringing, great education, and this one event has completely changed her whole path. And it was my favorite story because it made the most sense, and like Eric said, the build up to it was really well done.
It was the most fleshed out. The other ones were okay. I mean, Benny's was, I think, my next favorite. But once I got to Nimdok and Ted, I went, how the hell did these relate to anything?
See, I like Nimdocs.
I liked Nimdocs, yeah.
Well, let's talk about Benny.
So Benny.
Who wants to take Benny? Dan, did you play Benny?
I did play Benny.
Would you like to take Benny? Tell us about
Not
Benny.
in that way.
I'll
Benny
send you a Benny
is-
Mango.
Mana!
Mana from
Benny's you find out over the course that he was a murderer, and Am has taken away his abilities to walk properly, and he's constantly hungry. And the idea behind his scenario is that he realizes that he's a murderer, and he tries to make amends by saving this child, who the rest of the village picks on, and because he's a mutant. Is that right?
Yeah. So he go ahead, Jess.
I was going to say cannibalism comes into play, but I don't know how. It was just in the book when you first read the psych files, it talked about cannibalism.
Well, Benny actually, too, he was also a general in an army, and he murdered some of his own battalion, but I think it was under different pretenses of these people were going to die anyway, and I read it as they were mercy killings. But Benny didn't try to do everything that he could to save them. But Benny appears in this big prehistoric underground cavern where there's this village of people that basically worship Am. They've got this totem in the middle of the village where they will daily sacrifice people to Am based upon a lottery drawing. And you come across this boy and his mother, and the boy can actually talk, but he's only learned to talk because of the Am screen on the wall. And because he's able to talk, like Dan said, he's considered a freak or a mutant, but they won't select him for the lottery because his mom protects him, and now you're here to protect him, and you need to atone for your murderous past by saving this boy.
Yeah. But I thought he might have, I went a total dark storyline because they mentioned cannibalism, because he says he's always so hungry. I thought that he would have, I thought he killed the people in his battalion to eat them.
But I think it ends by you asking to eat the boy.
No.
That's how I asked to eat the mom.
And that's where it ended, and it kicked me back out. And that's what I was going to say before, because it kicks you back out, and then when Am says who's next to play this game, Benny is still there.
Yeah, it didn't end that way.
You have not beaten his scenario, so I had to go back through it again.
Shit.
Well, see, the way mine played out, it because you get you have to hide the lottery bag, don't you? So that they can to try and stop the lottery, so they can stop the sacrifices. Did that happen for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was after you had already watched the mother, or no, you watched the mother get sacrificed. Instead of asking to eat her, you say, "Can I watch?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I did that and I hid it in the hole, and then the boy said that he needed a doll to hide in the hole as well.
Yep.
But
that's right.
happened, and then I went to sleep, and then the next day I went to the sacrificial place, and then Am came and said, because I'd been messing around with the lottery, that I had to be sacrificed instead, and then it killed me. So
yeah, you were supposed to get the doll before you went to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
You had to get the head from the debris from where the
I think I
woman
did
was
before I went to
sacrificed.
sleep, so I don't know where I went wrong.
There are a few different things that you have to do. Like you have to
get the wood,
the string,
the wire. Yeah.
and then you have to actually.
I did definitely made the doll.
But
Definitely
you have to
made
talk to the village elder and find out when that sacrifice is going to happen. And he says it's going to happen tomorrow morning. And then you go tell the boy that, you go to sleep, and then you come out to find out that the hole is empty because the village elder found him and has strung him up. And when you get out there to intervene, you basically say, "Let me take his place." And they say,
So
Yeah.
did you guys tell the boy to hide in the hole as well?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's what I did, and
That's
it
strange.
didn't work.
Did you?
So when
but you
you-
had to find a doll for him, like a friend.
Yeah.
You had
Yeah.
to make a doll.
Just been through this. I did all of this, and it didn't work.
So when you went out to, as soon as you walked out to the altar, they sacrificed you. They didn't give you the opportunity to talk to anybody.
You can talk to the elder.
So
But then,
a lot of this game
all-
is contingent upon which order you choose
Yeah.
the dialogue options.
So then you talk to the elder. You can either leave the conversation or ask what they're doing again, and then Am just appears and says, "Sacrifice him," and then I got killed. So I really don't know where I went wrong.
So when you got killed, did it kick you back out to the level or to the selection screen, and was Benny still there?
It was, yes.
Okay, yeah, so you
Oh.
did something wrong there.
I can't fathom where I went wrong
so
with
did
it.
you went over to the tombstones and you talked to everybody there? You unveiled Berkman's tombstone behind the vines. And
That's it. I read it in the walkthrough. I missed something there where you had to bury some fruit or something.
yeah, you had to bury a
Yeah.
flower there to atone for your past.
Yeah, didn't do that. That's why.
That's what it was.
Got you.
That's so annoying
Yes.
because you miss that one thing and then you have to do the
Mm.
whole thing
Yeah.
all over
Yeah,
again.
it's
Yeah.
so easy to miss these bits.
It's really cool how they do that, though. I mean, you get close, and it just it actually makes you work for what you're doing, and I liked it. I liked Benny's scenario a lot. I thought it was really cool because at the end he basically says, "You know what? Don't sacrifice him. Sacrifice me instead." And that's how he basically confronts his past because he said, "I've atoned for this, and now I need to sacrifice myself." And again, that short circuits what Am is trying to do. He gets put in this cage and move on to the next one.
Yeah, he becomes more passionate, more compassionate person.
Correct.
But that's what I felt too, like going through it. I was saving a lot towards the end because I just felt like the entire, like then I didn't have to go through everything, especially on the longer levels, which I feel like, what was the first guy's name? Gorster? I felt like his level was so long.
His was like an hour and 10 minutes for me.
Yeah.
I plowed through Benny's in maybe 25 minutes. Nimdoc's in probably just the same amount of time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gorster's
See,
was
once you
so
know
long.
what you're doing, you can power through it a lot more because I did Gorrister's twice.
True.
Yeah.
Through it a lot quicker.
Well,
But
I also discovered that if you use the keyboard to switch between what you want to do, things go a lot quicker too.
Oh.
Yeah, if you hit
didn't
W,
do-
it goes to walk. If you go to T, it goes to talk. K is for take. U is for use.
That makes so much sense. And I'm so
I figured that
angry.
out about halfway through Benny's and went, okay, now things are going to start clipping along.
Shit.
Shit.
I also encountered a glitch on Benny's thing where the section with the fruit, and I saved it, and then reloaded the game, and Benny had just completely vanished, and you couldn't do anything. So
Yeah,
again,
that's a common
had to
glitch
restart.
apparently.
I didn't have
Oh,
any
really?
glitches.
No.
I had a game breaking glitch that I meant I couldn't finish the game, which I'll get to.
Okay. You mentioned you like Nimdoc, right?
I liked Nimdoc, yeah.
Tell us about Nimdoc.
Good guy. He was like this ex-Nazi doctor, and you're basically, as soon as you select him, you'll find yourself in this concentration camp. And the expectation from the other doctors around you is that you have to conduct these medical experiments on essentially kids and just like helpless people. And you're given this task of finding the lost tribe by Am. You kind of just go through coming to terms with your terrible past, probably the
He has
worst
no
past
recollection
of
of
all these
his
characters.
past.
Yeah, he has no idea what he's doing. He even asks the doctor before performing some surgery on somebody, what am I doing here? What is your function? Like, what is this place?
Yeah.
And yeah, he probably has the darkest story in terms of the terrible things he's done to be part of the regime.
Yeah.
I like.
Because it really, yeah.
I always wondered where the name Nimdoc came from. I mean, it's got that very Middle Eastern doctor sound to it, but in the story, it actually just says Nimdoc was the name that the machine had forced him to use because Am amused himself with strange sounds.
Yeah.
That's the only reason that he was named Nimdoc, because it sounded funny.
Yeah.
And they don't explicitly come out and say that like this was a Nazi regime. They allude to it. I mean, it looks a lot like a concentration camp.
But they used Mendele. What's the doctor's name? Isn't that his actual name?
Joseph Mengele?
Yeah.
Mengele?
Mengele?
Yeah, because you're the right hand man of him in what is essentially Auschwitz to perform operations on Jews.
And that's where I understood to be the Lost Tribe was the hunt for the Jews.
Yes,
I didn't understand that.
That's a biblical. There's a lot of biblical references in this, and without getting too much into it, I mean, the lost tribe of the Jews were the wandering tribe, and so on and so forth. And
oh, really?
It was a super dark scenario because
if you look in the story on the second page when they're talking about Am, Ted, the narrator, was saying that most of the time I thought of him as it, but then occasionally I would think about him in the masculine or the patriarchal for he is a jealous people, him, it, God as daddy, the deranged. I mean, he is a jealous people. In the Bible it says your God is a jealous God. So Am is trying to assume this deity status in a physical world. And he's trying to emulate what he perceives to be God.
Yeah. And when you're before you go into the surgery room as Nimdok, there's like a poster on the wall with 1945 on it. So there's plenty of stuff around to show which time you're in here. And it says, at one point when you look into the mirror, he says, oh my God, it's true, 1945, turning my Jewish parents over to the Nazis for extermination. Yeah. And he's like, I have found the lost tribe. It is me.
So this is the first scenario where I really messed up on. I still finished it, but
I messed up badly. Yeah,
there are so many things that I didn't do because essentially, when you're out in the courtyard, there's a prisoner behind the gate, and he's actually willing to talk to you. So you talk to him, and you say, "I'm going to help you get out of here," and he says, "Great." That's still not going to get you off the hook for what you've done. So anyway, you give him a pliers, and you have to go back in, and you have to. Go ahead.
I didn't give anyone. Who were you supposed to give the pliers to?
There's a guy climbing on the fence like a prisoner.
Yeah, I gave him an ether.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can do that, and then use the pliers as well to cut him down. So you make him feel better to begin with by speaking to him and giving him the ether, and then you can cut him down.
Oh, I'm a bad person. I just left him there.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, there's a lot to his story.
So
where,
you essentially have to go back into this hospital and collect evidence that you can take out with you as proof of, hey, these are these atrocities that are happening. So there's a jar with eyeballs. There's the ether. There's a scalpel. I think there's one other thing, too, but you have to find this box. And I found the box on the shelf and went, great, the hell is this? So as I walked out to the guard said, you can convince the guard to let you go. And he says, great, it's not going to let you off the hook. We'll give you a head start, but we're still going to hunt you down and kill you.
Yeah.
And if you didn't hide everything that you had in the box, he'll knock it out of your hands and it breaks. Specifically, the jar with the eyeballs. Will fall on the ground, break, and you won't have it anymore. And that's a key piece to unlocking the last 30% of Nimdok's story.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, I dropped the eyeballs, and I just kept going from there.
So you go through there, and you get to this scientific laboratory. You can read all this information that's on the teletype, and they're talking about creating this golem.
Perfect.
This perfect image. And you go into the basement, and you find the golem, and you can't do anything with him because you don't have the eyeballs.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I played, I did put the eyeballs into the box, and then
you don't want to put your balls in the box, Tom.
I had to change what I was saying there. When you speak to the golem, the options that you have the options you can choose from are dependent on all the things you've done before. So some of the options weren't available to me. So the golem is a key part to how you can finish off that story.
Exactly.
So what happened?
So how did it go for you?
So for me,
go ahead, Jess.
What happened next was I turned off the light, went into the vat, got the mirror, looked in the mirror, and I was done.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you looked into the mirror?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you turn off the vat, pick up the mirror. I tried to show the mirror to the golem. I couldn't get the golem to activate. I went back out to see if I could go pick up the eyeballs, but as soon as I went outside, he said, I better not go back to camp. They'll try to kill me. Mm-hmm. So I walk up to the wall, the screaming wall, and I push on it, and I fall through the wall, and that's where my story ended.
Sorry, I went through the wall, too. But so what did you do with the golem? What was the point of the golem?
So if you reanimate the golem, another scientist will show up and he will just give you this big plot dump on what Operation Perfect Image was.
Yeah. Oh. I got somewhere in the middle. I managed to activate the golem, say some stuff to the golem about coming to terms with your past, and then you're supposed to say, "Wake up, golem," and then you're supposed to kiss the golem, and then basically the order that you choose, if you get it right, then you can lead the golem outside, and then that's when the conversation with this other doctor takes place. But I never got there, and I exhausted all my options with the golem, and so I was stuck, and I had to go and walk through the wall and end the scene there. So I ended the same as you, Eric.
Yeah, his was the easiest one to mess up on, but you could still finish it without doing everything.
Did you guys kill, like, when I played it the first time, I grabbed the scalpel and I killed the anesthesiologist.
Oh.
And then they called the guards. And then I walked into the other room to try to run out, and I got killed. So I don't know if you could run down to the recovery room. Yeah, and finish it that way.
No, for a good ending.
Yeah, that's how I grabbed the ether.
Yeah. For a good ending, you're supposed to stab the anesthesiast.
Shoot.
Oh.
I didn't.
Yeah.
And then run the other way, I guess.
Yeah, just go straight through and go down the secret passage, I think, and then you can come out the other side.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't actually get this extra plot information from the doctor, so I'm not sure what that was. I'm not sure what he went through, but I didn't get a good ending with him in the end. But I just knew that's what you could do.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess the ending will come after what's his face.
Yeah, Nimdok he is a very critical character to the overall story. I feel like he's got the darkest background and the most to atone for.
Yeah. Definitely.
I agree.
So then we've got one person left? Ted?
Yeah, the last
Ted's
one is
is
Ted.
easily the worst. I don't know if you guys share the same sentiment, but I hated Ted's story. I hated it.
I liked it.
There was some funny bits, though. There were some really funny bits.
His was the first one that, Tom, when you and I first started talking about playing this a couple months ago, I clicked into his first. Yeah. And I got halfway through it and just went, I don't know what I'm doing.
I think it didn't fit in with the rest of them, but I really liked the fantasy witchcrafty stuff because
his was
that's
such
my
a
jam.
Convoluted story. So you enter into this castle, and your true love, Elena, is in this bed. She's under.
It's Ellen, isn't it?
It's Ellen.
I thought Ellen was the black lady that we played as.
He loves her.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So in the story, they talk about that, where Ellen, she was having sex with all of these men, but she only found love with Ted.
Yeah. That was what Ted thought. Because Ted is very narcissistic.
Correct.
Yeah. And I think that's what he felt like Ellen should love him because he's the knight in shining armor and all that bullshit.
Well, and Ted is the narrator of the story. It's all told through Ted's perspective. And in the story, Ted is the most crucial person. And we'll get to that at the end of when we're done with the game.
It plays on his past as he was a con artist. And he would charm his way through life.
He's a schmoozer.
He's a schmoozer. Yeah.
So your beloved Ellen has been cast under a curse by this witch of the castle who is consumed with vanity, and the only way that Ellen can be relieved from her sickness is if she has her mirror. But this witch
the stepmother
has broken all of the mirrors in the castle, and you need to collect all the pieces of the mirror to give to Ellen to free her from this fatigue and sickness. But then things
I
get
just collected
really
one hand mirror. Mine was complete. Because you found the piece of the mirror and then you cut yourself on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was complete as well.
And then when you found the actual hand mirror, it was a real... Yeah.
Yeah, after you discover that there's this whole occult thing going on and You
Yeah.
either choose to sleep with the servant lady or piss her off, and then you find this occult circle with this.
Do you not? You don't have to sleep with her?
No.
Did you guys sleep with her?
I did the
I
first
did.
time, but then the second time through, I
did.
didn't.
And then I said,
thought-
"Where's the mirror?" And she kicked me out.
Yeah, me too. That was
So
the
if
first
you
thing. Oh,
if
that
you
was
stand
good.
your ground,
tell me.
you can continually say, no, my heart belongs to somebody else. No, I refuse, and then she says, okay, fine, maybe there's something else we can do, and you go ahead and fix her oven, and then she backstabs you anyway and says, I don't know where it is. You have to find the witch.
I just felt that for a guy who hasn't had any for 109 years, he would probably have said yes.
Well, I feel
See,
like
I
he's
felt
gotten
because he
plenty.
was super like narcissistic, and I was like, yeah, he would totally tap that, like for sure.
Oh yeah.
You actually get asked to do the same again with the stepmother.
Sleep with her?
Yeah, and I
I
said
didn't
yes.
get
And then,
The stepmother
said
was
yes.
the old witch in the occult
Did you
room,
sleep
right?
with her?
well, what you say yes, and then she's like, "Ha! I was just testing you," and makes you look like a right douchebag.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think it basically reduces what Dan mentioned earlier, the meter. You know,
Oh, fair.
or, yeah,
Brings it down to
so-
the black.
right down to rock bottom because you're a terrible human. Yeah, I got really stuck on Ted's scenario right at the end. I didn't know what to do with the mirror.
But the
Smash it.
picture in the oh wait, what end part? Because you got the mirror from looking at the picture of the devil. Oh no,
No, so
I got the mirror. I got the mirror from the book.
when you
in-
go
on
into
the-
Yes.
Ellen's room, the devil appears, and he tries to convince you to free her so he can have her, because there's this war going on for her soul. You go, you find, you talk to the demon. I can't remember his name, but he's Sartan the Unlocker, and he can unlock everything from a boudoir to a surface to or a portal to the surface world, which I thought was
which
hilarious.
is the lamest demon in the entire world. Like,
Yes, but it's also hilarious. So
Yeah.
you give him the piece of glass with your blood on it in return for him to unlock the door to the barmaiden's room. And you go in there, you find the picture of the devil with the mirror, go back to Ellen's room, confront the devil on it. He says, fine, I know where it is. It's here. You go, you find the book, the Divine Comedy. He said it's somewhere where the angel will never go, because by this time the angel has appeared. The angel wants her soul. So you go back, read the book called The Divine Comedy, which is Dante's exposition
Inferno.
on a trek through heaven and hell, and the angel will clearly never go to hell. So therefore, that's where that was. You go back, you show the mirror to the devil gets sucked into it. You tell Ellen, hey, I found the mirror, and then you show it to her, and it frees her soul, and the angel takes off. And then you go back to the occult circle, use the mirror on the circle, it puts the devil in the circle with the demon. You knock out the mother-in-law, the stepmother.
I knocked her out first.
Okay,
Yeah, me too.
I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Once she wouldn't sleep with me.
from there, you cause this argument between the devil and the demon, and you offer up the mother-in-law's soul / love, because love is a tradable commodity in the underworld, according to this demon, because it's so few and far between. And this is where my recollection of the ending gets a little fuzzy.
Yes.
Essentially, they open up a portal to the doesn't he open up a portal for you to the overworld?
Yeah, and then he's like, sucka, it's basically a nuclear wasteland.
Yeah.
No one can live up there. And then that was
yeah.
it for me.
And he gets
Oh, that's
locked.
a bit of a kick in the teeth, isn't it?
He gets,
Poor
he gets
Ted.
locked back into a cage, and at this point, you've completed the scenarios for all 5 people, but you've triggered this final conflict because you've short-circuited this trial that Am has put together, and now you've got these other machines that are trying to help you, and you can choose one character to proceed into the final conflict, and if you choose the wrong character, you cannot finish the game.
Yeah, no, you can. But So
It's
I
just
was
really
very
convoluted.
confused with the ending. I was super confused. And then the short story made it a little bit more clear as to what I wanted.
Well, who did
Like
you
how
take
I
into
wanted
the
it
final
to end?
conflict?
Initially, I took an Ellen, and then
Were you able to activate the bridge?
No, but I was able to do a lot of the like other stuff.
Okay,
like
so
I was able.
The final conflict drops you into like this central core area where you've got this computer panel where you need a password, and then branching off to either sides are neural pathways where you can find the id, ego, and superego. And if you go in with Nimdoc, he knows the password to the bridge. So you type in 1945, the bridge expands, you head back across the way, and then the demon shows up. And he tries to convince you to use these totems on him, like the totem of entropy, because he wants to take control. If you refuse, you go back out through these neural pathways, and you need to use different totems on the id, the ego, and the superego, like compassion, forgiveness, and I forget what the third one was. But if you use them in the correct order on these totems, they shut down, they short circuit, and go, wait a minute. I hated you. I want nothing but to kill you, and you're showing me compassion. This isn't logical. This doesn't compute, and it shuts down. So once you do that to all three of them, and you head back across the bridge, you see the two other computers, the Chinese and the Russian computer, the demon, and then the id, the ego, and the superego, and they're all trying to get you to use or to give them the totem of entropies. You can either give it to them or you can invoke it, and if you invoke it, it basically shuts everything down.
Really?
And that's how it ends.
Then what is the final scene then?
The final scene was...
Like, did you get the I have no mouth but I'm a scream final shot?
With that little blob guy?
Yeah.
No. 'Cause
Really?
That's Ted.
Yeah.
See, but so what I did the first time, I played with Ellen, I killed like a bunch of them, and then I finally got to Nimdoc, and then he was able to use the password and then get across the bridge. They told me to... The first time I gave them all of the totems, and then it just ended, and I was the slime ball. And
okay, wait.
Like,
so what
Nimdoc was.
I just looked up a picture. What happened to me is that when you're talking to these 5 creatures, they start to reveal that you are not the last 5 humans.
Yeah, on the moon. I forgot about that.
There's a colony of like 734 humans in cryosleep on the moon. And by you shorting this out, it reactivates the thawing sequence for them. But it'll take 300 years to terraform Earth.
I didn't get that at all.
Yeah.
That's where mine ended.
Really?
That sounds like the best ending.
Yeah, you got the good one.
Yeah.
So how many endings is there?
I'm
There's
assuming
4.
there's a lot.
There's the like
4.
shitty, which is what I think I got the first time.
You got the ending that lines up with the book.
Where
That's
you...
the worst ending.
Yeah.
Well, no,
it-
because you can make it a little bit better.
Oh, okay.
Because the next
Yeah.
time I killed everyone except for Nimdoc, and I used him last.
So how did you kill him?
By like pressing things a bunch of times.
And it just kills him?
Yeah, and then I was like, well, they're better off dead, which is what happened in the book, and that's why I really like that.
That's actually really
And
interesting.
then Nimdoc was the only one left, and then instead of him being Ted... Or no, I kept Ted to the end because I don't like him. And he actually was that in the book. And I was like, okay, Ted, sorry.
Yeah,
Sucks
so
for
you
you,
did
but you're...
get the bad ending.
Yeah, I thought that was the only ending.
But if you think about it, let's talk about the ending in the book for a second here, because Ted, in the story, he's the narrator. He's very narcissistic. People hated him. They loathed him because Am didn't really mess with him too much.
He
Yeah.
thought that Anne didn't mess with him very much.
But everybody still hated it because of it, and he knew that it was palpable. People did not like him. But by the end of the story, there was a situation that presented itself where Ted could kill everyone, and
Because Benny went all cannibal, which is
Correct.
interesting that they had the cannibal stuff in the game, too.
and Am tried to disrupt it by causing stalactites to fall. Ted saw that as his opportunity. He killed Benny, and then he went, okay, I have a few brief seconds before Am interrupts this to take care of this, and then he goes ahead and kills Gorister, and he kills Nimdok, and he kills Ellen, and that's when...
Ellen kills one of them.
Oh, that's right. Ellen killed Nimdok, and then Ted drove the stalactite through Ellen, and he saw on her face this look of... this expression of thanks. At least that's what he hoped it was. And that's when Am intervened, because basically Ted killed all of Am's play toys, and Am transformed him into this amorphous blob. He had no ability to kill himself whatsoever. He had no eyes. He had no appendages. He was basically this big rolling...
A snail.
He was this big rolling gelatinous blob. And that's the ending that you got, because I'm looking at the picture right now where it just... It has a phrase directly from the end of the game where I thought Am had hated me before, but I was wrong. It wasn't even a shadow of hate that he slavered from every printed circuit. He made it certain I would suffer, and I have no mouth, but I must scream.
Yeah. So that's the ending I got.
Well, shit the bed. I got the good ending.
See, I liked that ending, though, because it was true to the book, and it was, like, very, like, wow, this sucks, and this is how it would feel if the world ended. Like, I really liked how depressing it was.
But Ted atoned for it. Everybody hated him, yet Ted was the reason that they were all freed from their suffering.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I like kind of depressing endings sometimes.
What ending did you get, Tom?
So I started off using Nimdok because you told me to, because he knows the password to get the bridge activated. Mm-hmm. And then I kind of just went. I'm not sure if I went in any particular order after that, but I finished with Ellen, and she had the most to do when walking between the neuro pathways.
So when you used Nimdok, it didn't just end for you, because I only used Nimdok. I saved everyone.
If you go back to across the bridge, that's when it ends. Like when you talk to China and Russia, that's where it ended for me.
Oh no!
Because I only did the ego.
Oh, you didn't do all three of them before you went back across?
No, they told me just do one, so I did.
Oh, I can't remember. I spoke to those two. And then I walked back across the bridge, and I went and found the skulls, and I picked up the middle skull near the volcano section, and then I had to do something with the pillar, and then I disappeared.
Jeez, there's so many different things you can do at the end here.
Yeah, and then I selected somebody else, and every time I was selecting somebody else, the Am would say, Another one has failed. Who's next? Yeah. And I ended up using everybody, and then I got right down to Ellen. Started finishing her scenario, and then literally I was clicking from one side of the screen to walk towards the bridge, and she just wouldn't walk. And the text would highlight to walk, but then it would just flash, and it basically completely bugged out. I got trapped, and I couldn't move, and I hadn't saved for ages. And when I saved and then reloaded and rebooted Steam, like it was the same every time. So I just basically got completely stuck. I never saw any final scene.
So one thing we never actually talked about, and I think it's kind of important, is why is Am doing all of this?
He hates humans.
Hates them.
Hates
really
he hates them for a very specific reason. So
because they made him...
Because we're bastards.
Yeah.
They made him sentient, but he can't actually wonder or do anything or act on it. He's very intelligent.
It's the old chestnut of the machine is jealous of the human.
Correct.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yes. Jealous of us meatbags.
And he wanted revenge. And his way of revenge was making them immortal, but toying with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what is there anything else?
No, but we just never covered that.
That's pretty much. Yeah.
But sorry, Tom, going back to your thing. So you played all of the characters, and like for Gorister, when you go to the pods, I guess that were there. Like I opened the third one, and it was Gladys, who was like basically a droid or something.
Oh,
And
shit.
then what did you do? Because the pillar came up
Yeah.
and I just touched it and then I died. But I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if I was supposed to do anything with a wife or
His-
what.
He touches it once, and he's like, "Oh, that was quite a shock." And his avatar on the bottom left changes to like a really surprised look. And then I
Yeah.
touched it again, and then he died. But just before that, I actually activated some sort of teleprompter thing, and it was Benny's wife appeared,
Yeah.
and
In
I
another
shouldn't
window.
have done that. Yeah, and I shouldn't have done that. And then I left it, went and found Gladys in one of those pods, did exactly what you'd done, died.
What
And then when I
pods?
controlled Ben, there were
They're
these
like-
like 3 pods, like little chambers that had people inside them.
I think one of them said like missile control or something like that. Like that's what.
See, I didn't mess with any of that because I didn't want. I knew that at this point I could probably die, so I just went straight for the pillars. Because as soon as I saw the ego, I went, "Oh well, there's got to be the id and the super ego somewhere."
Oh man, I don't know what I did wrong because everyone just died, and then one person
So
got
you
stuck.
probably were on the path to getting the same ending as Jess.
I would guess so because I did some bad things.
You did.
Like Ted's story didn't go well for me.
So you guys
'cause-
did not defeat
and then-
Am.
I don't
No.
think so.
I didn't
I'm
even
gonna
know
go
that
with
you
no.
could.
Yeah, I shut him down. He's done.
Hooray!
Yay!
Yeah, it's weird. I would like to see if someone like other possibilities because I feel like there could be
Yeah.
some sort of interaction that you could have with his wife and Benny's wife and
Yeah. Well,
the
once I controlled Benny, I couldn't reactivate the teleprompter to get Benny's wife
No,
to show
you
up because I'd
died.
already done it. Yeah, I died pretty much straight away.
yeah.
So,
But anyone else could activate that one. Benny just couldn't.
yeah.
Huh.
So, yeah, I would like to see what all the other possible scenarios were. Because
Overall, what did you think?
I thought
I
it was
enjoyed it.
thought-provoking, but I got frustrated again with the stupid ways you have to do things.
Did anybody use walkthroughs?
Yep.
I had to use a walkthrough for Gorister at the last half of him.
Yeah. I tried to do as much of it without as I could, but
Yeah.
there would be parts where I'd get hung up and went, quite honestly, I started this Friday night and said, I don't have 3 days to sink into just trying to figure this out. So if I
Yeah.
got super stuck, then I would dig through.
I definitely had to do
Yeah.
it when I was looking for Ellen's how to pick up the yellow scarf
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that. 'Cause
I had
then
a
I had
couple
to check
that
where
I
it
was
went
stuck
wrong with
on.
Benny.
But it's a proper messed up game, but interesting, thought provoking, and
I'm glad we played it. I like
Yeah.
these. I feel like we've done 2 in-depth games the past couple shows, and it's not
Yeah.
just the quick one-off throwaway game. There's a lot behind this, and I think actually having read the story afterwards really lent a lot of insight into the world and what was happening.
Well,
Yeah.
it's my pick next week, Eric. So we'll soon
Definitely.
sort that out for you. We'll be back to stupid.
Please, please do. Any final thoughts on "I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream"?
I would say people give it a go. It's quite cheap.
Get
and
it?
It's,
Get it?
Get it!
You're close, Dan. Is it still on sale?
It's $4.49 when I bought it, I think.
Oh, you didn't buy it when it was $1.50?
No.
I have to admit, though, Dan, I am very happy that you purchased a PC game.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. We have turned a new leaf in 2016. Jess has finished 2 games in a row.
What?
And Dan has physically purchased a computer game. Like, I'm not even sure that we can go anywhere higher from here.
It's all downhill from here.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Quite.
Back
Yes, quite. Yes.
by the end of the year, will none of us even be playing games?
Nope, we'll have just doing the grammar thing. I think.
Good stuff. What do we want to move on to? We've got a couple things to shore up here at the end. We have. Do we want to do we do have an email. Do we want to do the email right now?
Yes.
If you want to send us an email, factorysealed@manatank.com. This goes,
said it slowly just so you can remember
that
it.
That is factorysealed@manatank.com. Our email is from Ryan Klubeck, and it is titled Silent Hill Astrological Sign Puzzle. You guys remember talking about this one a few weeks back? The one puzzle in the entire game that we all hated? Or those of us that got that far?
What was that one again? Start again?
Nice sly dig, man.
Got it.
Hey, would you like the knife back from my back?
No, you can keep it because I'll probably put it back there again at some point.
Right.
It was the puzzle that made absolutely no sense. It had the astrological signs in the middle of the room and then these plaques around the outside of the room, and none of us could really make heads nor tails of it. So Ryan writes in and says, "Hi guys, I recently discovered your podcast, and looking through your backlog of episodes, I came upon the one that focused on Silent Hill. I really enjoyed your discussion of the game, and I thank you for helping me relive one of my favorite games from my youth. I thought you might be interested in a small piece of trivia. In the part where you were discussing the astrological sign puzzle in the nowhere section at the end of the game, you said you could not find any rhyme or reason to the puzzle. However, did you know that the numbers underneath the pictures actually refer to the number of limbs on the figures in the pictures? You'll notice that the number under the Libra picture is 0 because a scale has no limbs. And if you look at the others, you'll find that all the numbers match up. It's a tough puzzle to get, and I didn't solve it on my own either, but I just thought you'd be interested to know that there is some logic behind it. Love the podcast. Keep up the good work."
Cheryl.
Very cool.
Shit the bed.
Cheryl.
I think I read that at one point afterwards.
Have you seen Cheryl?
About 7.
Little girl.
Black hair.
That radio.
Have you seen my daughter? Cheryl.
Harry.
I'm going to go over here and look for her while moving like a tank.
Cheryl.
What a shit game.
You shut up right now. We will be doing Silent Hill 2 for Halloween next year.
Oh,
Yeah.
what, in
I'm gonna
2017?
start it now.
2016, son.
Oh.
Yamas, get your shit together.
Come on, Yamas.
Gotta order a supply of Pampers.
Yes, depends.
Yes.
Yes, fine. We have a giveaway.
Bah!
We have finally achieved giveaway status. So for those of you who might possibly be listening for the first time, we are running a Patreon account where if you would like to donate and support, we have a whole slew of awesome giveaways. But one of our milestone goals was to start doing weekly game giveaways. Now, it says specifically in there we will give away digital copies.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to do a physical copy the first time. And I'm looking at this, and it says we can do at least one digital giveaway each month. So I don't know if we're going to do it every week, but it says at least one each month.
Cool.
Just going back and reading that. Okay. We do have it where it'll start to go games every week. We'll try to do it as often as we can. If we find a good deal, we'll give them away. But anyway, to enter, we generally run it on social media, Facebook or Twitter.
Twitter.
You don't need to do anything other than generally retweet or share the post. That's it. Or like it. That is it. If you're a Patreon supporter, you will actually get extra entries into each of the giveaways. So if you donate up to
$1.
Even if you donate $1, you get an extra entry into every digital game giveaway. $5 gets you 5. If you pledge $10 a month or more, that's where we start to actually get into the real rewards. Before the show starts, we actually chat with each other for about anywhere 15 to 25, maybe 30 minutes sometimes. We throw that up for you guys to see just how stupid we can actually be before the show. So if you think there's any planning that goes into this show at all, you can find out that there really isn't. And we've got a lot of really good feedback on that. A lot of people really like that. But you also get 5 extra entries into the digital games giveaway. So, if you don't support us, whatever, you can still win. You'll still get the exact same show that you would if you did. But we do have some nice perks for you. You can find that at patreon.com/factory sealed. What are we giving away this week, guys?
We're giving away.
I can't remember.
This is Yamas's baby. He is our giveaway specialist.
Woohoo!
We've got Dan, the
We're
social
giving
media
away-
manager, Yamas, the giveaway specialist, and Jessica, the game finisher.
Eric, the guy who doesn't really do much.
No.
Just
show up and put everything together.
Yeah.
just
I'm known for leaving the stream going for 6+ hours after the show has ended.
Yeah.
God damn it!
Good thing I unplug my microphone when I'm done.
I can tell you what we're giving away.
What are we giving away, Tom?
Just Cause 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
My buddy was
That's
down
pretty
here this
crazy.
past week, and I probably put 30 hours into that game with him. That is such a fantastic game to sit and play with somebody else and just dick around. We unlocked... I'm still only like 4 stories into the overall story, 4 missions into the overall story, but we have everything else unlocked.
Oh, Jesus.
It's a ton of fun. It's a little repetitive, but it's a ton of fun.
It is. I like it very much as well.
Good. So we're actually going to do a physical giveaway. We are 2 milestones ahead of where we actually should be, but because we are so appreciative that you guys are supporting us, we are going to do a physical game giveaway, meaning that if you win, we will contact you. You will tell us what system you would like this game on, and we'll mail it to you. We will mail it to you physically, a physical copy.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And worldwide, we've said too.
yes.
Because we got hoes in different area codes.
I feel like you're the only one who could actually get away with saying that.
We're the hoes, so it's fine.
Correct. Okay. So
Cool.
Tom has this very scientific mathematical algorithm that he has plugged everybody's name into who has either retweeted, shared, or liked the post, along with everybody who is supporting us on Patreon. And he's going to press the random button.
It's super complex. It's a really
Don't
specialist algorithm. I'm not going to lift the
curtain
curtain
back.
too much.
Yeah. Let people think that there's a little bit of science behind what we do.
There is.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you
So
ready
we
to
ready?
pull the trigger?
I am. So we get a drum roll going.
Who is it?
All right, I got a name.
Oh, dear.
Is
it
it
someone
Dan
we know?
Curtis?
Let's put a bit of Hollywood on it. The winner is Brienne Miller.
Woo!
Yeah!
Way to go, Brienne.
Yeah.
Brienne's awesome.
Sweet.
She was one of our
That's
first
awesome.
supporters, too.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Congratulations, Brienne.
Brienne, I will be reaching out to you to get your console of choice along with your shipping address. I think she lives in Australia.
What? The land
I
down
thought
under.
America.
Is it?
I don't know. I think I'm just making that up.
Could probably do with getting that right.
She probably follows at least one or two of us on the old Twitter box there. Sweet deal.
Sweet.
Okay, we're going to send
I'm
that to-
happy
Yes.
with that.
Me too.
Excellent.
Uh,
So yeah, look out for more of those.
Also, let us know what games you guys would like to see us give away, if you'd like to see us give any away. I mean, we don't have to, but I think they'd like to. Yeah. From here on out, it's just going to be digital copies. This will be the last physical copy that we give away for a while until we hit that milestone.
Until we get that milestone.
Yeah.
Which I think is $75 a month?
Yeah. So I think we're like halfway there, maybe. Ish?
What do we have for runner-up prizes?
Yeah, what do we have?
I've got to find my games inventory here. Where do I find my library or my oh shit, where is that? I'm not too familiar with the logo.
Oh, is it GOG you're on?
Inventory. No, I'm in Steam.
Oh, you're in Steam.
Yeah, I have 3 digital copies from our last giveaway that people never claimed. So, if you would like to, Jess, what do you have you have a copy of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Let's give that away.
Sounds good.
So to give these away, these will
cool.
these will be on Steam. This gets a little complicated trying to figure out how to give them away on Steam, because Steam, you can have your display name, but then you can have your account name, but I can't always search for everybody. So what I've done is I've actually set up a factory sealed community. So we'll get in touch with you, or you get in touch with us, or we'll figure it out. But you'll have to join that community so then we can add you as a friend and send you the game.
Yes.
And these ones are specifically on Steam. We will start doing GOG giveaways. But for now, we've got 4 runner-up prizes that we're going to give away. But you have to claim them. Otherwise, we're going to give them away on another show because we've got extra games. So, Yalmis.
Yes.
Hit it.
I got a name.
What is
it's another one of our Patreon supporters.
What?
It goes by the name of Brian.
Yeah.
Not Brienne Ha.
Ooh. Yeah, Brian Ha.
Oh, Brienne Miller's from Illinois. Oh, fantastic. Okay, good. That'll be cheap shipping. Sorry, I didn't.
What a guy.
Hey, look at this. Ain't a charity.
Oh, Brian's in Australia as well, and it's digital, so that's even easier.
All right. Hey, Brian, that shipping's even cheaper. Free.
Congratulations,
So Brian gets
Brian.
a copy of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. We've got 3 more games to give away. Let's give them away here. We've got Cthulhu Saves the World and Breath of Death 7. That's a combo pack. If you have not played those and you are a fan of retro-style RPGs, these are hilarious games. I believe at some point these were awarded to other winners who never claimed them. So we're giving them away.
Oh. Okay, well, which one are you giving away first?
Well, we've got the Cthulhu Saves the World and Breath of Death. We've also got Q*bert Rebooted, and we have System Shock 2.
Oh, okay, so we're just picking a name, and then they can choose which one they want.
That's
what are you doing?
Complex.
That's going to be pretty complex.
Give me a game.
Cthulhu Saves the World.
Okay,
Breath
cool.
of Death. Who wins that?
I like
Mark
how
Lee.
organized we are.
Who wins it?
Mark Lee wins that.
Mark Lee Marcheski. He's another one of our Patreon supporters.
Nice.
See, look at that. By supporting us, you get extra entries and extra chances to win.
This isn't rigged, we promise.
No, it's
That's the
really not.
maths.
I mean, we could show you a screenshot of the super complicated algorithm. Tom actually had to build a computer for it.
It's whirring in the background. Yeah, it's got the complicated algorithm and a ham horn.
And a fart noise. Okay,
Fun.
mark that down. We've got Q*bert Rebooted.
Q*bert Rebooted?
Who's going to win good old Dick Nose? Have you looked at Q*bert?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
He has indeed got a bit of a dick nose. Let's try this now. 29. Jack Grant.
Jack Grant? I know Jack Grant.
Hell yeah, you do.
You do.
Jack Grant, you're going to play yourselves a couple rounds of Old Dick Nose.
Nice.
Excellent.
System
All
Shock
right.
2, who's winning that?
Ricky Evans.
Ricky Evans. That name sounds familiar.
It's a Patreon.
Is it?
I think so.
He is.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he is.
4 of the Patreon supporters won a prize. Simply because they're supporters.
That's awesome.
Way to go.
That's-
That makes me feel warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And a bit tingly.
Sweet.
And perhaps...
Do we want to go there? I don't know if we want to go there.
No, we don't. No, we don't. No.
Okay.
Yeah, free stuff for people. There you go. Aren't we nice?
Speaking of moist,
Oh, yeah.
there was a
hear about
description in that I have no mouth that I must scream about that gigantic creature that was rushing towards him, and it was big, gigantic, hairy, and moist.
Where was that?
Yeah.
Oh, in the story.
I'm going to see if I can find that really quick.
No, but even one of the quotes in the story that I highlighted.
Let me read this to you. Are you ready? Page
Tell us a story.
18. Something moving toward us in the darkness. Huge, shambling, hairy, moist. It came towards us. I probably emphasized came a little more than needs to be.
Uh-huh.
But
you felt like it was necessary.
yeah, I mean, we all know what's being implied is coming towards them. Right?
Pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I go. That book is full of all sorts of odd things. Doesn't it say something about Am masturbating?
Well, yeah, he masturbates his pleasure of torturing them.
Oh, okay, it was more metaphorical.
Yeah. I mean, he could like.
I
I mean, he could.
Do we really need to get into the specifics of what a machine does and doesn't have?
With
I
his
feel like they did
with his
talk
hard drive,
about-
or whatever.
The guys pleasuring themselves, though.
Well, yeah, it's
feel like that
109 years.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that I think that was mentioned in the book.
Well, yeah, when Ellen's off doing the deed with somebody else.
Yeah, that was it.
I mean, they're not just going to do a big old pile.
Oh.
Let's go on. Dan, it's your week next week. What have you selected for us?
Well, from the other end of the spectrum, it's a Nintendo 64 game, and it is Conker's Bad Fur Day.
I hate to burst your bubble, Dan, but we've already
We'd
done
played it.
that.
Uh,
I mean,
oh well, my
Really?
second
Paid
second
attention.
choice, which may be too long, is Paper Mario
which Paper Mario?
from the N64.
That would be really, really long.
Could we do that over the next
How-
2 shows? Because mine
how
is
long
the
is that
next
game?
one.
I would really like to play it.
How long is it?
It's quite long, but it's well worth playing.
Well, how long does it say it is? Let's see here. 23 and a half
How
hours?
long?
Could we really
Wow.
stretch that into 2 shows, though? I mean, is there enough to talk about?
I think so. It's got a lot of depth to it.
I mean, I'd be willing to buy that on the Wii U for $10.
I think we could do that.
Do we want to do it? Well, that kind of throws that. I mean, if you want to sacrifice your choice to do the second half of Paper Mario, I guess we could.
Yeah, because I haven't filled in my day yet, so I'm good with that.
Do we want to do that?
It's up to you. I'll
Well, it's
think of
your
something else
week.
if not. I'll have to think of something else if not. So
Is it your final answer?
Let's get Tom's pick on it, because that's a lot of time to commit.
Oh, I have it too, way down. Like,
Oh, well, if that's the case,
Way
I mean,
down
we
in
were
the
going to get
list.
to it anyway.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Should
God's sake, people.
okay.
Paper Mario
What's
on the
in-
N64 it is.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes.
We'll do it we'll see how much of it we get through.
Could swap it for Banjo Tooie if you're interested.
No, we both had it on the list anyway.
Yeah, we may as well. I mean, it was two of us wanted to do it. It's a game I've been meaning to play. The only Paper Mario I've ever actually played was Super Paper Mario.
You should get the one for the Wii, Thousand Year Door.
That's
was really
the
good.
GameCube one.
Is it?
Yeah, the
Which
Wii
one's
one
the
is
for the
Super
Wii?
Paper Mario.
Okay.
I liked that one because it had that 3D style to it where you could flip it and go down the lane.
Oh.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, yeah. Let's do it. Paper Mario, 2-part show, maybe a 1-parter if we all get through it, which I don't know.
I'm not going to say anything, but I just...
You do know
You're
that the
smashing
minute
it.
you break the streak, it's just going to be all hell broken loose.
I know. That's why I'm pushing for the 2-week episode.
And I'm done enough with a lot of the new games that I've gotten that I probably have time.
I just got Xenoblade Chronicles X as well.
Oh, welcome to a 300-hour game.
It is ridiculously huge.
I went over to my buddy's house to see that, and just listening to him explain it just made my head spin.
I'm on the first island of the world, and I haven't even explored a quarter of it. It's ridiculous. There's about 7 islands.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, Daniel, where can we find you on Twitter?
You can find me at Rusted Slab.
How about you, Jess?
I am a Jess.
Yam?
At Hyperjelly.
You can find me at Honest Pizza. You can follow us on Twitter at factory_sealed or go to facebook.com/factory sealed. That's where we will be putting out information about giveaways and when we're doing other live streams and stuff like that. If you want to support us on Patreon and probably win yourself a game at some point, patreon.com/factory sealed. Guys, that's going to do it for this week. We will see you all next week.